Welcome to Magical Moments for that ease and that flow in your life. I'm your host, Alena Chapman. And today, my dear friends, it is Ask Alena. And I'm telling you, every time I get questions, I think, my gosh, you guys, you're thinking. And you're saying, of course, Alena. No, I mean, you are truly thinking. You are really starting to say, wait, I need to take care of myself. I need to find out stuff. This first question I bring up, I am so proud of you. I want to tell you right off the bat, because it's such an important question and you don't know how many people you are going to help with this question. I mean, it's going to help you, but oh my gosh, you don't know how many people are suffering. So I'm going to read the question right off the bat so you can know what I'm talking about. It's Alena. What would be your advice for people who walk out of their homes and feel everyone else's energy? It's so exhausting. Now, it sounds like, okay, so she's got this thing, she feels people's energy. By the way, that's called an empath. And I'll explain that by someone, Dr. Judith Orloff. She's a pioneer in the field, okay? And she describes empaths as those who absorb the world's joys and stresses like emotional sponges. And it's true. I'm an empath. And I have been an empath for a very long time. I mean, probably since the day I was born. Most of the gifts come to you then or throughout that younger years. Excuse me. And so I remember, this is kind of a funny story. When I was about 5 or 6, we were watching TV, and there was this man singing on the TV, and I had to get up and leave the room. And I wasn't even in the studio. I was in my own living room watching this man on TV. And yet his energy made me so sick to my stomach, I had to leave the room. And I went into the kitchen and I said, Mommy, I don't like that man. He's making me sick. And she said, never say that. That's a horrible thing to say about people. Well, that man who was singing on TV turned out to be one of the worst pedophiles. And he also turned out to be a very awful man in real life, filled with lots of anger. And I could feel his energy, even at that age. And I swear on a stack of Bibles, when I was walking home from school one day, and I was about 8 or 9, I had a very interesting childhood. A lot of freedom, which I really do appreciate, but it also a lot of interesting things. I was walking home from school one day, and we had safe houses back then. I'm aging myself because women were just starting to go back to work, but some women were staying home. And those women who were staying home would put a sign in their window in the neighborhood saying, I'm home. And they would be called safe houses. So if you were in any kind of trouble, you could run to that house, which is really a wonderful community working way of being, which I loved. And it actually saved me. Like I said, I was walking home. My mom was not home, and there was a car parked on the side of the street that I was walking. A guy standing out, a young guy in his late 20s, and the trunk open. And on the corner behind me was a safe house. My friend Amy's mom was home. Mine was past the car. I had to walk past that car to get to my house. And he said, come on over. I've got candy. And I looked at him and immediately I could feel it. I felt his energy. I thought, that's not good. My mind just said, don't go there. Do not go. And then I said, no, thank you. I was always polite sometimes. And then he said, well, my dog is lost really, and I need you to help me find it. And I said, well, I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. And he was like, well, come here. And he started walking towards me. So I ran back to that safe house. Now, here's the thing. The next morning, not even 2 blocks from me, a little girl was found behind the bleachers of the park, dead. So when we're empaths, or when we have a gift, it's a gift. These little things we have, these empath or clairvoyant, or it's not woo-woo. It is a gift. It is the way that spirit and our capabilities has loaded us with these incredible gifts that we have poo-hooed or said, that's women's intuition, or, oh, you're being silly. Oh, don't tell anybody about that. That's awful. And then we think it's awful, and we try to downplay it. We try not to have it in our lives. And yet, those wonderful ways of being, like an empath, for instance, we have to learn how to use that wonderful gift. If we don't learn how to use that wonderful gift, it turns into our greatest fault. Now, my mom, she was extremely talented. She didn't even realize it. It scared her. It scared her so much. And she was someone who could relate to, she would get signs if someone was going to die. We're getting pretty woo-woo here, but she also could see people who had passed on. It scared her so much she wanted to shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. Well, guess what? She had problems with it her whole life. It haunted her. Me, I was lucky my dad was a little more open-minded, more in the science world, but he knew that something was going on. He called it a really strong intuition. And after the time that man was in that car, he said, you know what? You've got to foster this. This is something very important. Because he said, well, how did you know not to go to that car? And I said, Daddy, I could feel it. And he said, okay, you've got really good intuition. He called it that. And he said, all right. So he says, how do you feel when you walk into your classroom? I said, some days it feels really good. Sometimes I can tell if a kid is sick. Sometimes I can always tell what the teacher's going to be, what her mood is right away by the whole set of the room. And he goes, okay, I'm going to teach you how to use what you know when you walk into a place, and you can change the energy. He actually taught me how to do that. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because what happens to empaths? What happens when we use it as our fault? I know people who are older who won't leave their homes because they can't take the heaviness of the energy. And right now, folks, the energy, a lot of people are starting to wake. That's a very overused word, but they're starting to get this a new feeling that, hey, I'm going to start taking more power in my life. That's what it means. I'm going to start taking more responsibility for creating the world I want to create. The world doesn't really have to be that way. We call that awakening, all right? And so whenever you hear someone say, oh, they're awakening, that's really what they mean. And with this empath, if we don't learn how, it's a powerful gift. You have the power to change the energy of the world. It only takes 13% of the population to change any mass consciousness. That's science. That's not woo-woo. That's science. It's been proven. And I'm going to tell you at the end exactly what to do that. But for you to even start to harness that wonderful gift, like my dad taught me, it's been the greatest thing I've ever done. When you walk out the door, I'm going to give you 2 ways to start. First of all, you have to ground yourself. If you do not ground yourself, and this goes for anyone, how in the heck do you deal with all the surprises of the day? Do you want to bounce around like a ping pong ball, or do you want to feel centered? And in the shaman world, we always talk, be like a mountain. How do you do that? You get grounded. So especially an empath or somebody who has clairvoyancy, this stuff can go on overload. You can get so stuck into your head, you're not living in this world. So what you want to do is you want to go outside in your yard right before you leave. You're in the garage, go outside the garage, just step outside first thing in the morning. Plant your feet on the ground. You can wear shoes. It's okay. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to feel your feet going down from your hips, just like the roots of a tree or the base of a mountain, going down into the ground. And thank the earth. Thank this incredible planet we live on. Thank the spirit of the earth if you're really into the spirituality, Gaia, or whatever you want to think. Just think something and allow the roots of your feet and the energy. That's what you're doing. You're allowing the energy to go down into the earth and then allow the earth to come up and feed you. Now, here's the thing. Put your hands above your head, like in a point, the hands together, and have it point up into the sky. That's the peak of the mountain. And close your eyes and feel and ask for the beautiful universe, for God, for whatever spirit, whatever you believe in, to suddenly bring in that beautiful light down into your hand, down into your body, all the way down, and it meets in the middle with the energy. So you have got the energy of the earth coming up, you have the beautiful sky and the universe coming down, and it's in the center, forming a beautiful foundational center, a solidness, a calmness. It's where, the Chinese believe that the stomach and that whole abdomen area is our brain, okay? So that's where you're starting to think from. You're starting to feel secure, like you are the mountain, that you can stand firm in things, that you can deal with the world as it is and help to change it. You are solid and you're getting the wisdom from both the earth and the universe. Do you see? It's a wonderful exercise. And it will help you with these feelings as they come pouring in. The next thing, for me as an empath, one thing I like to do very much, if I feel like you just step out your door. So do the grounding. And then if you feel like that day is just a mass consciousness is hitting you, you have got to start understanding to put a beautiful light around yourself. And this is a protection to just kind of filter. It does not keep you separate from the world, but it helps to filter that energy. And I don't know if you have worked with guardian angels or guides or God or whatever, but usually I ask for my guide, who I call Joan, and now you all know, Joan and me. I always say, Joan, can I have a beautiful white light that goes all the way around, above and below, around me? And I will put my hand and allow it to go all the way around me, and I feel that beautiful white light. Does it help me? Tremendously, because the energies can be overpowering for me too. And I can also soak up the energies, and I'm sure you can too. And then I'm stuck with them, and I don't want to be. So I put a little bit of energy around me, and I go throughout my day. Now, there's one more thing. So say you're walking into the room, you've got your protection around you. You can still feel that energy of the room, but now that you have that wonderful little energy around you, now you are in control of changing the energy of that room. So however you set your mood, by listening to music or by going into a network meeting, and you feel that energy and it's not good, okay, I'm going to look around. Who can I start talking to and start changing the energy of this room? Who can I brighten their one day, which is some of the population? And in a group of 20, it only takes 2 people to start changing the whole room, right? If it's 13% for a whole population, if you could just get 2 people in that room, it changes the whole room, the energy of the whole room. It works. When I used to go to workshops, a friend of mine, Harash, used to say, every time you walk into the room, we always know, because it changes the whole energy. That's how you use being an empath. Always for the good. Do you see? See how I took something that people are always talking about. Oh, you've got to shield yourself totally. You've got to hide away. You got to save that energy. And I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying, yes, you've got to get yourself grounded. You got to know where you're at. You got to keep your energy in a good place. And then you can use that powerful gift to help change people's lives, change the feeling of a group. And my dears, if any of us, and I really do, I'm putting this out all over the place, if we can just close our eyes, put our hands on our hearts every morning, and allow the beautiful light of the universe to fill our hearts with love, just 1 minute, it just takes 1 minute, and then say, for the intention today, I am setting forth compassion. And all you have to do is that. If we get 13% of people doing that, then mass consciousness of doubt will start to go away. All of a sudden, you'll see incredible changes in political systems. You'll start seeing people becoming more aware. You'll start seeing wars change. I'm serious. It's amazing how this stuff really works. We have been given so many gifts. We are not from this wonderful planet. We live here, but we are from the greatest source in the world or the universe. We are from something so much bigger. We have part of that inside of us. We have it inside of us. And if we have it inside of us, learning how to use it and not treat it as woo-woo, not treat it as that silly intuition, that silly empath, oh my gosh, you're just evil, or whatever people say, but use it to better this world. My gosh, this world could change into a most beautiful place ever. Wouldn't that be nice? We have it in us. So, my dear, it is exhausting. Do these things I've just shared with you, and you'll see that all of a sudden you're not so exhausted anymore. And then you've got to keep your own vibration high, like playing the music you like, doing the things that are fun, going for a hike in nature, always that wonderful nature, or water. Water is always good. You've got to do things for yourself that helps your own vibration to raise. Because if your vibration isn't good and you're putting a shield around you, you're stuck with your energy. So you've got to also make sure your energy is up. And that goes for anyone. We really do owe it to ourselves to start looking at some of the gifts we have poo-hooed on ourselves or thought we were silly, and start saying, wait a minute. Or the other thing I see is that people are like, wow, I can't believe I did this. This is so weird. And they don't see it as a gift, but as a weird phenomenon. Get over the weird phenomenon. It is your gift. And it's up to you to develop it and use it for the betterment of all, including yourself. That's really why it's here. All right? So I hope that answered your question. And oh my gosh, what an incredible question. And I bet you have probably helped every listener I have with that question. So I hope I have helped you. And if you want to learn more about this is the stuff I talk about and I help people with. And it's all on Alena Chapman on YouTube, on Facebook, and now I'm doing TikTok, which I think is an interesting platform that I think is so much fun. I can't wait to do more on there. So watch for me around, okay? And also, we have another question that is another really good question. And it's, what are there foods that will help me connect better or, open up to my best self or my higher self? And yes, there are foods. And this isn't woo-woo, guys. This is actual science. You eat a lot of carbohydrates or you eat stuff that, you have that heavy meal. And if you're Italian, it's probably pasta, which I adore. And you have it, and then all of a sudden you feel sleepy. Well, yeah, because it's carbohydrates. And you can't even think logically, let alone open up to the higher side of you. Because you've just laden down the blood. The blood is slow circulating through the body. Everything is kind of slow. It's clouded with stuff. So just like you can get yourself into that area of fogginess, you can get yourself into clarity. And everybody says they have the secret formula for this. If you have ginger, you're like, oh my God, if I eat ginger, I'm just great. Well, yeah, ginger's good. I say Really, if you want to keep yourself open, then yes, fruits and vegetables and lean proteins. Not so much meat, guys. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian. I'll tell you that right now. However, I don't eat a whole lot of meat. I eat a lot of, I like chickpeas. I like spinach. I love black beans. Things like legumes, just trying to get yourself in a cleaner place as far as food. I love rice, brown rice or wild rice. Just really, instead of milk, coconut milk. Start to open up into healthier. We don't need a whole program to teach us. It's really that Mediterranean diet of fruits and vegetables and lean meats. It really is that easy. And you'll find that the energy, I really do believe that the Asian idea of the Tao, of Tantra, which is more than just about love. Tantra is a way of being. It's incredible freeing of embodying consciousness, just so you know. We always put it into the love and romance area, but it really is about your own self and coming with a pure heart. And the one thing they say is eat clean. The Tao says it. The Hindu says it. The Buddha says it. Even if you go to a convent with nuns, they say it. So it's all across different religions. The Essenes were very strict on what they ate way back, and they were the Brotherhood of Light in Jesus's time, and they were the healers, and they believed very strongly in eating very clean. So did the Gnostics. This is not new stuff, and it is cleaning up your act. Dark chocolate once in a while because it's very good for you. But all the sugar that we're addicted to, if you're going to make a salsa, make it from home because sugar's in the salsa in the jars. You got to start reading labels. See, we're not just eating bad to clog up our third eye or our blood or our mind. We're actually very addicted to sugar. It's in everything processed. So look at the labels if you don't believe me. I was shocked to see it was in salsa because I make salsa from home. You don't need sugar in it, And a lot of wonderful things I always liked is laden with sugar. Things that I didn't even think. I was buying an iced tea. It's laden with sugar. Who needs that? And that can clog you up and put you on this weird up and down cycle that you get consumed with it. It's like having too much caffeine. It's up and down, and your poor logic and your spiritual life can't come through. Your body's unstable. It is mind, body, spirit, So eating very clean and really starting to look at some of the nonsense. If it's processed, guess what? Probably not so good for you. Put it away. Once in a while, have it. But keep to the clean stuff, the spinach, the salads, the pure lean meats. Fish is a great thing. And pasta, put it on the side and just use a little if you're Italian like me and you want a little of it. But you just eat clean. And it also is just your lifestyle. You can eat clean all you want, but if you're laden with stress, it doesn't do you any good. So look at your lifestyle. Slow it down a little. Enjoy the meals without the TV. Use it as a sacred moment. When you're doing your yoga, use it as a sacred moment. Meditation, sacred moment. Do your gardening, sacred moment. Start to treat the moments as beautiful moments to be in the present and to notice the beauty and to notice the life and notice the vibrancy and to connect on a spiritual level to everything. And before you know it, you are living. You start seeing a veil lift from your eyes, and you start to see what living is really about. So I hope that helped you. I'm sorry not to give you the 5 important foods, but it's Yeah, I could do that. But no, it's just eating clean, guys. Let's not make it difficult. We always have to make everything so freaking difficult. And plus, you only eat those 5 foods and you don't get it. Then you feel like you were thrown a bone or something, and then you don't believe anything and you give up. This is something you can follow. All right? It really is up to us. Nothing is a magic pill, guys. It's just taking responsibility and stepping forward. All right. Like I said, I have the smartest listeners in the whole wide world. So what I would love for you to do is to look at Amazon, Hello Soul, if you're interested in reading a wonderful book that keeps selling out on Amazon. I'm amazed. And that's my journey back into my own soul, my own way of being in my higher self and embodying that consciousness that I live with every day. And I would love for you to join me. And like I said, check out Alena Chapman on YouTube. Subscribe. I would love to get the information out more and more. And we're going to be loading more and more videos. And also, if you're listening to this show and you see it on YouTube or you see it anywhere, share it out. You don't know who you might be helping. As always, it's love and spirit. And the more we unclog everything and we stop treating it like our faults, we open up a beautiful pathway of love where spirit can come in and help us in our lives. Namaste, everyone. Love you.